Hi guys, it's Shell, Sunbury Housewives. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to our channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit the subscribe button to see future videos. I release new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So today I have a very fun video that is Halloweeny. Halloweeny, is that a word? Well, it is today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting with a 12-ounce wine tumbler. I went ahead and sanded it. It was something I got off of Amazon in a 4-pack. It was rose gold. I sanded as much as I could to get some of the rose gold off. Probably should have spray painted this red, but I did not. So I'm going to go ahead and start out by putting a very thin layer of epoxy on this. I go ahead and put my little handle thingy in there because I don't want to get epoxy on my hands. So I'm going to put just a very thin layer of epoxy on this so that my glitter has something to adhere to. Once the tumbler is completely covered in the epoxy, I remove my glove, and then I'm going to use a gorgeous red. It's called Ruby Slippers by the Glitter Guy. It's a fine cut. It'll be listed in the description box below. I do sprinkle this all over the tumbler except for the very top of the tumbler because later on I'm going to be doing a drip and I don't want to have to mess with the glitter peeking through at the top. I mean, it's going to travel a little bit, but nothing too major. So I do try to avoid the very top of the tumbler as much as possible. I do end up doing a second coat of this off camera so that I get amazing coverage. I could have avoided this had I spray painted the tumbler red. So if you're going to make this, avoid the second coat by spray painting your tumbler red. And I'm cleaning up around just to even up that glitter, just to make it more aesthetically pleasing. Not that you're going to see it because of the drip later, but that's neither here nor there. And I tap off any excess glitter. So I do put 2 coats of epoxy on, let that cure, and then I cut out this hand using permanent white vinyl. And I'm going to place this on towards the bottom, coming up, so like the skeleton hand is holding the cup. And because of the curve, I kind of had to manipulate this vinyl. Starting out, not so much, but then you'll see I have to kind of take off some of the little fingers and manipulate it. And cut in between with the transfer tape and place them down. So this particular finger gave me a little bit of hassle, and it was because of the curve, and so I just manipulated it and got it to where I needed to fit and cut off a little bit, which was no big deal. And I just pieced it together a little bit and cut off any excess. And because it's the bottom of the cup, you're not really going to see it, and just trimmed it and made it work. And for the 2 remaining fingers, I just put those on individually and again manipulated those to fit accordingly so they didn't overlap. This one, the finger was longer than the cup. No big deal. Like I said, the drip will cover part of the fingers. So like the tip of the finger, I ended up cutting off. Not going to see it anyway. So I was not too concerned. And I did have to replace this one a couple times because of the way that it kept laying. It wanted to overlap the other finger, so I did have to place it a couple times. And then right here is where it was over the top of the cup. No big deal. I just cut that off. And then placing the pinky. And then once I got that done, I did do another coat of epoxy to seal in this vinyl. Before I did that, I did seal the vinyl using the Ccdiy quick coat before putting a coat of epoxy. Once that was done, I am using a temporary vinyl to do these eyes in this mouth. To do what I'm making here is a poison apple cup. So I did put this face on to the other side of the cup and putting it on there to... The transfer tape was giving me a little bit of a hassle. It's very staticky at times. So once I get that placed on there, find the perfect location, put it on there, and then I'm going to mix up some epoxy. I did use my Speedy PD to do my drip. It has a much faster curing time, so I knew that it would not take as long. And so I'm using a little bit of my Alumilite dye, epoxy dye, to give me a little bit of a white base, so I won't have to use as much of my mica powder to dye it, and it would be more opaque than translucent. So then I'm using this green apple mica powder to give me that bright green that I want. And I'm also going to use this glow-in-the-dark green mica powder as well, so that the drip will glow. So I do mix that in as well and mix that all together. And then I let this sit for probably about 10 minutes, and it starts to thicken up. And once I get to the consistency that I want, I just start taking my popsicle stick and let it go around the rim and let it drip down. I go all the way around the rim at first, and then I start bringing down the drips. And I really wanted the whole face covered, or the majority of the face anyway, because then I'm going to pull up that vinyl to reveal the glitter underneath it. I did use some Q-tips with any alcohol on it to clean up any areas that I might have got a little bit too much that I wanted not on there. And I did use my heat gun to heat up the epoxy just a little bit to kind of get it to drip a little bit more than I wanted it to. And once that was done, I took a weeding tool and pulled up that epoxy. This was so messy, and I should have worn my gloves, which I do end up grabbing once I got some epoxy on my hands. So I clean up my hands and then get my glove on. Once I get all that vinyl pulled off, again, I clean up any areas that might have gotten some epoxy on it that I didn't want. And then I do take my heat gun again and heat up that epoxy a little bit to kind of close up any of those holes that are open that I want closed. Just to, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Just to, I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words right now. Just to make it more aesthetically pleasing in the design that I was trying to achieve. That's what I'm trying to say. So once that's all finished, I let this epoxy completely cure and do one final coat of epoxy, which wasn't necessary, but I wanted to do it. And this was the final result. Absolutely pleased how this turned out. And this is what it looks like with the lights turned off. I do take my UV flashlight to just kind of activate that glow in the dark, and look at this. I love it. Hang on just a second. Here you go. Look at that. I love it. This is available on the website at the time of this video. It's been on the website for probably a few weeks now, so I can't guarantee that it's still available. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a great big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.